Hey crafty friends, it's Heidi Scott with DIY Dreaming. On this video, I wanted to show you a little bit more about using chalk paste, almost like a watercolor, and show you just some of the fun things that you can do. I'm especially loving adding some outlines. I think that just gives it so much. So before I start, let me show you what I have made and tell you about that. Then I'm going to show you the project that we're working on, and then we're going to do one, and then we'll finish this one that I just started. So this was the one that I posted this morning, and here it is with the outline. And I don't know how you feel about it, but I like it so much better. I just like everything about it with the line, with the outlines. Okay, and here is the one that I was working on. Did I show this to you? I think I did. It wasn't finished at the time. And this one says, act justly, love mercy, walk humbly with your God, Micah 6:8. I did end up cutting off this much on the end. And so I did new leaves because the scale of it was just wrong. But I think it turned out pretty darn cute. So over the next month or two, I will have some good giveaways for my next blessing boxes. Okay, and then this is the one that I've started working on. But here's the thing. Oh, I forgot to put my links. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no actual artistic abilities whatsoever. So I'm just giving you ideas. I'm sure there's lots of you, where did that go, that are way, way, way more artistic than me. And you could probably make something fabulous, where for me that's a challenge. Okay, got it. All right, so this one, I was looking at a picture on my iPad from Pinterest, and this is what I did. I'll come up close. It's not fabulous, but I think it'll be pretty once I have stuff outlined and once we have a thing here. And we're going to be doing this new stencil that I just got that says, "These are the good old days." So we'll get to that in just a minute. But what I want to do first is show you all the details of doing this. So this is the paper that I'm using. And I showed this to you guys during Christ and Crafting yesterday. It's Canson brand, which is a pretty standard brand. This is watercolor paper. It's, let's see, it's 140 pound, 300 gram weight. I believe what that describes is how thick the paper is. This is pretty thick. You cannot just use computer paper or craft paper or scrapbook paper. It's not going to do what this stuff does, because this stuff has, I don't know, it's bumpy. It's really fun and fabulous to work with. So I'm just getting out another piece. All right, and I have absolutely no idea what we're going to do. We're just winging it. So I have a whole bunch of chalk paste out. I have about 10 more over there. I have every color, which is fun and overwhelming at the same time. So the first step is to spray your paper. You want it to be not dripping wet, but wet. Okay, so I'm using the Magnolia mister. Let me move these out of the way so they're not blocking your view. And we'll pull them back as we need them. Okay, so I'm just gonna, let me think about what I want to do. I have loved doing them where there's something in each corner. So I'm going to mostly do the corners. This thing sprays out a very fine mist, and it's just great for a lot of different crafting things. And this was my palette from earlier, so I'm going to see if we can revive some of this with a little bit of water. We might also add some to it. So I think we need to add some of this pretty pink. And I think we need to add some of this darling chalk paste that's called mulberry. So I had my second COVID shot today, and that's what I'm blaming my tongue-tied thing on, although I feel fine. I hope that I won't have any, you know, I don't know, whatever, symptoms or problems with it. I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Okay, so what I have, oops, I have little pieces of chalk stuck in my paper. Okay, so this is the palette, and I'm just gonna take, I need some paper towels. I'm just taking some water that really needed to be changed, but it's okay. And I'm gonna grab, let's pull up some of this light pink. So you just are taking some water to it with your brush. By the way, these comments below can be swiped to the left or right, or up or down, depending on what device you're watching on, if they're in your way. If you guys have questions, don't hesitate to ask them in the comments. I did pin links. And if you like this and you want to, feel free to sprinkle. Those were the main things I seem to always forget to say. So let's see, I loved this idea. I kind of want to replicate that. I love how this turned out, but I don't want to get anything on it, so let me push it back a little bit. Okay, but let's do the big bunch of something at the bottom. So I'm just putting some pink on, and then I'm going to mix it with a little bit of the darker pink. See how this looks like just a bunch of different colors? That's what this is going to look like too, so don't be worried that this is terrible, because it'll be fine. So we're going to do two. Do something down here too. Ooh, let's pull in a little orange too. Add something here. So I honestly have absolutely no idea where we're going with this, but this is how most of my crafts are. They start out with a general idea and then they just kind of evolve. And I tell you what, well, first of all, I hope you can see okay. I'll see if I can put my camera down just a little bit lower. But when you craft like that, where you don't have expectations of certain results, it is a lot more gratifying because you're surprised at the end, and usually you're pretty happy with what you've done. Where if you had a specific thing that you were trying to create and it didn't turn out like you wanted, that is discouraging. I feel like we need a little bit more water. Okay, so I want to pull in some of this lavender, and this is what it looks like. Where is it? Where's my lavender? Oh, it's right here. It is called Purple Lace, and it's a great color. I don't know how it's going to go with this project. It looks a little muddy when you mix it with orange, which that could be okay or not. I don't know. I'm just right now just laying a bunch of color in here. And let's pick up some, I want some yellow. So where's my yellow? So what is everybody doing today? I'm gonna come back in just a minute, and I'm really gonna do, with a much smaller brush, I'm gonna outline some of this movement that I'm adding here. Right now I'm just trying to get some color on there. So I haven't seen everybody's comments, but as soon as I get off, I will sit down and see what you guys said, because I love the stuff that you guys write to me. It's hard to do something that you don't know how to do and read comments at the same time. You know what I mean? Okay, so I'm going to say that that is good for a start. So when I did this in the corner of the other one, it needs to be bigger is what I'm seeing. I really thought it was going to look just like a big purple lump until I drew the outline of the 3 flowers, and then it made much more sense. So hopefully this will too. Let's make it just a touch bigger. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry for a few minutes, and we're gonna work on going back to what I did before I came live. Which is, where did I put it? Here it is. Okay, so these I did more defined, but the water kind of blends all the colors. So the first thing I want to do in this instance is I want to put the stencil on, and then we'll outline the flowers. Okay? And this is the stencil we're going to be using. It's one of the Magnolia Design Company stencils. And I do have a link to stencils down below that I pinned. It says, these are the good old days. Which I guess, if we could remember that, we would sure enjoy our here and now, right? And I do think, oh my gosh, this is so funny, but when I look back to my high school and college years, you know what, there was so much time that I did not enjoy because I thought I was fat. Can any of you guys relate to that? And now I look back, I think, oh my word, I would love to have that body now. I'm so much kinder to myself than I was then, but how much joy did I let this obsession with weight and physical appearance steal from me? And those were good old days, darn it, and I just didn't. Tell me in the comments if you can relate to what I just said. Looking back at different things, you realize now that they were, looking for my Sharpie, good one, that those days were the good old days. And you didn't appreciate them like you should have. Okay, so first step, I always label the back of the carrier sheet because it's important which side you put this back on. And number two, this is a brand new stencil and this is paper, which means it could be very hard to get it off. These green ones are super sticky. So I'm going to show you how to fuzz. You could fuzz on a pair of jeans or a jean skirt. You could fuzz on your t-shirt. You can fuzz on a flour sack tea towel. It needs to be some, don't fuzz on like a terry cloth bath towel or robe or something, because you're going to have a ton of fuzz on the back of your stencil. But anything that is a low fuzz works great. Ooh, this is still really sticky, so we're going to do it a couple times. It's so sticky I can't get it off my fuzzing towel. Let's do it one more time. And if you don't fuzz these kind of stencils when they're brand new and you're going to use them on something like metal or glass or a painted wood or paper, when you pull them up, you can stretch your stencil, which is not good. And you can also lift up what was underneath. So like a wood tray that maybe you painted, it might lift up some of the paint. So it's super important to fuzz. Hopefully I've fuzzed enough. Okay, and I'm just gonna eyeball where I want this. I may end up coming back and adding one more flower in this upper corner. Got a lump here, what is that? Piece of chalk. So you just lay your stencil down and burnish it on. And then I'm using black chalk paste, which is almost gone, and I'm almost to need another one. It's really almost gone. There's not a lot of print here to do though. I should have plenty for that. I'm just putting on some globs. We'll see how far that takes us. And you just, with your little squeegee, which if you're gonna order stencils, you should get a squeegee. If you forgot and you don't have a squeegee, you can use something like a debit card, an old gift card. Those will work. They'll work. They're not going to be great, but in a pinch, those will work. So, yeah, you definitely want a squeegee. Let's see how quick this comes together. Now, I'm just pulling off the big globs. I'm looking to see, did I get everything covered? I'm not going over and over and over it because that's when I always mess up. Okay, so this is what our project looks like. Lovely, huh? And, oh, this is cute. This is what it's gonna look like. Plus, we're gonna add some stuff to it. Let me throw this into my little tub over here. Face down, and I'm poking it under the water so that it can soak the chalk off of it before I have a chance to get up and go to the kitchen to wash it. And now I'm just going to take the chalk off my hands. Okay. All right, so let's do the next step. Well, let me show you this. I didn't show it to you yet. Whoops. These are the good old days. I may go back and add some little yellow flowers. I don't know. I have to look at it after I have some of the lines on it and see what it's looking like to decide if the scale and everything is right. But I'm using one of these markers that are also from Magnolia. They're great. They have a set that has ink and chalk markers. I can't remember if this is ink or chalk, but it works great on this project. So I'm gonna just open it up, and I'm going to prime it just a little bit by pushing it down on my paper plate. That's what gets the ink to start flowing. And then, can you guys see everything? I hope you can. And then we're going to start just doing a little outline. I like to purposely not follow where the actual edge of the flowers is. My dog is standing outside the door crying. Can you hear her? Okay, so I just went around the outside of the flower and the leaf. And now I'm going to just do some of these little squiggly things that look like worms or something. Okay, and I think I'm going to do, I don't know if I'm going to do those. So here's what we have so far. It's going to be really pretty. I feel like I'm going to have to add some more flowers here. Okay, and when I have a stencil, I don't outline that exact area. I just go around it. I'm not quite sure how to handle this leaf. I guess I'll just do part of it. Okay, and now, can you see? Now let's go on and do the blue one. There's the blue one. And for my leaves, what I am doing, just to give it a little bit of dimension, is I'm drawing a line down the center of the leaf, and then I'm putting a couple teeny little dots on them. We could put some of those dots on the flowers too. That might be really cute. Just random. Okay, so this is what we have right now. And that is pretty much what I want to show you. I didn't bring all the other ones that we did yesterday in, but, oh, we were going to finish this one. So let me set this aside. We're going to also finish this little one that we did on the live yesterday on the Christ and Crafting. We're going to finish it off with a pin, same deal. And I'm going to draw the stem first. Somebody pointed out that it'd be really cute to put a small stencil right here, so I have to figure that out. So you guys, if you decide to do something like this, if you already have the Magnolia chalk paste in 3 colors, you can do this project. You just need some watercolor paper and then some distilled water. But if you decide to do this project, I want to see pictures, please. So I don't know if you're part of that group that I set up for all of us to share our pictures and get lots more ideas of crafts and stuff. See how it's coming along? But if you haven't, you need to hop over there and ask to join. It's Dreamy DIY. And it's going to ask you if you agree not to try to sell or solicit business there. Like if you work for that competitor chalk company, please don't be posting pictures trying to get people to ask you where whatever came from so that you can start conversations with them. That's a good example. Or don't try to sell makeup or, you know, purses or whatever. And then the other thing is, we'll be nice to each other, obviously. But what is the other one? Oh, don't share other crafters' videos there, please. Because then I get a ton of questions. And, you know, Barb from the Shabby Tree, she's awesome. I love her. But she has her own thing. So, and I feel completely confident that every crafty woman in the United States already knows about her page. Her blog and her Facebook page and her Pinterest and everything. So just please don't share other people's crafters. Just ask to join. We'll admit you, then go look at all the tons of amazing projects that people have created over there. This is sort of inspired by this one. What do you guys think? Do you like it? So I need to find a small something to put right here, and then I'll put this in my pile of things that I'll be blessing people with probably over the next couple of months, because I have so many pieces. And I will be doing blessing boxes again. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to start. I already have stuff in my pile over here, but just watch for that. It probably won't be until early next week, I don't think. I'm not sure. Anyways. So I hope you liked these ideas. Oh, I did want to mention one more thing, and that is that you can spray these if you're worried about them getting smudged or handled a lot. And I sprayed one thing just to test it out. I used this stuff I use all the time, clear matte sealer. This is Rust-Oleum. You can do any brand you want. I went outside and I sprayed this, and it looks completely fine. It didn't do anything to it. So if you were concerned about this getting smudged or something, feel free to spray it with a clear matte sealer. So that's pretty much all I have. Thank you everyone for the stars. Thank you for your comments. Let go. Let God would fit on it. Yeah, that's a good idea. If you have questions, let me know in the comments. If you want to make sure that you get to see what I have coming up, check to see if you've liked and followed DIY Dreaming. And turned on your notifications. And otherwise, I have to let this dog in because she's about to tear down the door. So I'm gonna do that, let her in. I'm gonna let this run for just a minute or so that you can do a this or a this if you want, and check your settings and say something if you'd like to. And then I will get pictures of everything. I'll put it in the comments, and I'll also put it in just a post of its own on DIY Dreaming. Thanks for joining me. See you in a bit. What? What is all the hullabaloo? see if I can spread these out so you can see them better. Alrighty, thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you guys first thing tomorrow morning. Have a great, well, actually, I'm gonna reshare a fun project that I did in the past with you tonight. I'm gonna start doing that, I think every night at 9 p.m. Eastern time. Well, most nights. I'm gonna reshare one of my favorite oldies but goodies here at DIY Dreaming. So if I'm talking about, you know, September or something, just know it's a replay. I'm not confused about what month of the year it is. Okay, all right, now I'll really say goodbye. Have a great day.